Hey guys, this is Sean Sandridge, and I am here for the review to Married to Medicine, the reunion part 2. So, Sean Bradley called all us YouTubers out asking, where is the Married to Medicine video? Well, Sean, I'm going to be honest. Ever since Married to Medicine has put their show on Friday, it has been very difficult for me to get the video out because I'm either too tired to watch the video, watch the show, and then review, or my life is just so busy that I don't watch it. So after an exhausting week, my husband decides that he wants to go out on Friday. So of course I said yes. So Married to Medicine did not get reviewed, did not get watched until really yesterday. And I was just too tired even then to do it. I thought maybe I would have time to ponder and come up with some other thoughts, but I don't. So I'm just gonna give my reaction to the reunion altogether. I thought the reunion altogether was very disjointed. Normally, when you have a reunion, the reunion is really to highlight the season, the ups and the downs, and to also give some clarification or put situations in its proper context, and to essentially have some resolution and kind of tie things up in a nice little neat bow. Because there are some things that go on during the season that we want to get some understanding, and I didn't get that feeling from this reunion. It felt very disjointed, and I was left with a lot more questions than getting some answers. And I also found this season to have a lot of backstory, and that's what also made it, as a viewer, very like, because when you look at the different dynamics of the ladies, you're not understanding where all of the tension is from. So I will get into it. One question I want to know is, Mariah, are you tired? Are you tired? Because I got the feeling that you are tired. You seemed to be very tired. And for someone who is great with the read and the shade and the one-liners, I found you to be quite, I don't know, deadpan in your deadpan. I guess that's the only way I can to sum it up. I felt you were very dead, and where you probably should have stood up for yourself, you weren't doing that. I didn't get that feeling. So I also thought that Andy was far too kind to Lisa. I thought he did not really put her in the hot seat. Mariah was in the hot seat, and Lisa was not in the hot seat. And I think Lisa really had a lot to answer for, and she didn't. Andy did not put her in the hot seat. And I thought that that was a disservice to us, the viewers, because I would have liked to have seen her in the hot seat. And I don't know if she's playing the damsel in distress card and Andy is feeling very soft and mushy about it, but I would have put her in the hot seat and then given her a Band-Aid to lick her wounds and go on about her way. So that is what I got from the reunion altogether. So I don't think that Andy challenged Lisa at all, and he should have. So let's just start with the elephant that's in the room that nobody discussed. And I say that because, you know, it's kind of like speech 101. Normally, when you are dealing with your audience, the audience remembers the last thing that is said. And why wasn't the issue between Lisa and Heavenly not touched during the reunion? It was as if it never happened. It was so funny to me that the conference was a good portion of the last half of the season, and that wasn't discussed at all. It wasn't discussed. We talked about things that no one had any idea. Like, I didn't understand the issue between Heavenly and Mariah. I didn't understand the issue between Jackie and Mariah. Heavenly was going hard at Mariah, and none of that played out in the reunion at all. But yet the one thing that was talked about and was a good portion of the season was not discussed. Why is that? I would have liked to have known or given Lisa an opportunity to explain to herself why she thought it was okay to copyright the name of the program, expect Heavenly to pay half, expect her to do the legwork on the promotion, yet she doesn't get essentially equal billing, but she has to put up the finances. I really would have liked to have known if there was anything missing from this issue with the conference and why Heavenly blew up. And was there any miscommunication? Because as a viewer, I didn't see any miscommunication. I thought Lisa was wrong. But it would have been nice to get her full side of the story where things went wrong. That was never touched. I also want to know, why is it that the issue with Heavenly and Mariah didn't play out during the show? I think a lot of it had to do behind the scenes. That probably never even got put on tape, but it would have been nice because Andy never said, Heavenly, Mariah, what is the deal with you two? He never said that. So I got some notes I want to go in there because I wanted to collect my thoughts. So, okay, Mariah and Dr. Jackie, they're not friends. And yes, I do believe that Jackie is very condescending. I do like Dr. Jackie. I like the fact that she's a doctor, and I like that she brings the doctor part into the Married to Medicine. But her disposition is nice nasty. I've said that. And I saw it play out in this season. She is condescending. And I do disagree with Dr. Jackie. She was trying to make a point to say that if I was holding a grudge, I wouldn't sit next to her. That's not true. That's not true. You can have unforgiveness and you can hold a grudge against someone and still sit at the table with them. And a good example of that is Quad and Lisa. I do believe that she is just as nasty as the ladies, but it goes under the radar. And you could tell she said that a few times. Okay, here's an example. You're going to go and try to approach Mariah nicely or come to her in the umbrella that you're being nice, but you say to her that it speaks of unintelligence. Now, I just want to know, anybody with a backbone, how would they take that comment? Anyone with any self-esteem, how would they take a comment coming from someone saying that the way you behave shows a lack of intelligence? It could be a lack of compassion. It could be a lack of understanding even. It could be a lack of even not being biased, that maybe it just, but to say there's a lack of intelligence, what do you expect to get? What response do you expect to get when someone comes to you saying that you have a lack of intelligence? So this is what I'm talking about, nice, nasty. And then she made the comment when they were arguing, I believe in Hawaii, and she's like, I may not be that smart. I'm just a doctor. It's nice, nasty. There's no way to get around it, Dr. Jackie. You're nice, nasty. And unfortunately, you have not met your match when it comes to someone checking you. Now, Dr. Heavenly will do it, but she still does it under the idea that she still respects you. So she only meets you halfway, checking you, but no one has checked her because most people would say something like, did you just call me stupid? What do you mean? Most people would challenge someone, say, what do you mean unintelligent? You better come up with a different word other than unintelligent. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about with Dr. Jackie. That is my point. Mariah and Quad. Mariah, I said this before on my reality snack bites. I say it again. Mariah did not play her hand. Girl, Mariah, you were playing checkers and Quad was playing chess. And I don't know what your agenda was, but you need to switch it up. And, you know, and I said this before, I'm sure Mariah's going to come back on the show, and she should come back on the show, but she needs to come back on the show with a whole 180 and either have some friends that she can go to, friend of the show, or we need to see Mariah being fabulous, because I really felt, and this is, you know, my question about is she tired is a valid question, because I felt like she was emotionally somewhat checked out and beaten down. Maybe these ladies are weighing heavy on her heart. I can understand that, because we're human beings, we're women, and we have feelings. However, if you come back on the season with the same rhetoric about Quad and is showing on camera that you are pressed about what she says, what you do, what she says, what she does, it's not a good look. It wasn't a good look on the season, and it played out. And there's no way to get around that. It played out. When someone says, "I have nothing for you," now that's saying the ball is in your court. Quad is making it very clear she doesn't want to have anything to do with you other than being an ensemble cast in the show, and that we can be cordial, but we are not friends. So since we know that, Mariah, you have to come up with something different. I go back to let us see the Mariah that as a viewer we bought into, being fabulous, being Black Kadeshi with your husband. I love Dr. Aiden. Love the goatee. He was sporting that. I love a good goatee. You know, show some moves that you're making business-wise. You know, it would have been far better to see you do your lip gloss line and see behind the scenes of you being a businesswoman. And because no one knows about your lip gloss line unless we are watching Facebook Live. Why didn't you put that out there? Why couldn't we see you be a boss businesswoman and you doing your lip gloss line, you with the chemist and doing the marketing and your website and your launch even? Why didn't you have a launch party for your lip gloss line? No one knows about your lip gloss line. Why didn't you, if you didn't want to focus on Quad and if you didn't want to focus so much on the ladies, why didn't you switch it up and do your lip gloss line? That would have been a far better thing to see how that went than the way the season played out for you. Okay, Mariah and Simone. What's really going on with you two? Now, Simone admittedly said that she picked sides, which is big of her, because Mariah really accused her the last season or so, the season before, of being a flip-flopper. So Simone did draw a line in the sand. And I do think that a lot of misplaced anger towards Quad should be directed to Simone. But no one's talking about that. And I believe there's more to the story that we don't know, but I'm just not getting the fact that it is just Simone choosing sides. Simone would not admit that she had chose a side back then, but she's admitting it now. So I would like to know what is really going on, because evidently Simone delivered your babies, and 2 seasons ago when Mariah was trying to get pregnant, she did go back to Dr. Simone for some, prenatal checkup and all that. So what is really going on between you and Dr. Simone? I would really like to know, because I think there's more to the story than we are hearing. All right, Mariah and Dr. Heavenly. Now, we saw some nastiness play out between Mariah and Dr. Heavenly, and I'll be honest, when I saw the first episode of the reunion, I wasn't really understanding where was all of this venom coming from, and why is it Heavenly was ready. She was ready, lock and load, ready on deck for whatever Mariah had to say. Like, as soon as Mariah would open her mouth, she was ready. And I wasn't understanding, because That whole thing between Mariah and Heavenly did not play out at all during the season. So we all know, or if you don't, Mariah's been doing a lot of the recaps on Facebook Live. And she made comments about Dr. Heavenly, which now makes sense when Dr. Heavenly was making comments about Mariah's teeth and that she has bad breath. And then Mariah said on Facebook Live that Dr. Heavenly is musty, her underarms smell. I thought that was both on both sides, very, base. But when you're fighting, you hit below the belt. I mean, that's just the way it is. But I wasn't understanding it. And I really felt like they did us a disservice because Mariah never brought it on camera. Heavenly never brought it on camera. The issue that Heavenly has with her mom. Now, if you go back in the vault, Miss Lucy never really checked it for Heavenly anyway. She didn't like Heavenly. And I guess that has kind of festered and has gone on to be something more. And, I just thought it was funny that Mariah did not really go in or go back in on Heavenly when Heavenly was making comments about her mom. That's why I was asking if she's tired. And then I'm wondering, secretly, does Mariah think that her mom overstepped her bounds? Because Mariah is no candy. And say what you want, bad, good, or indifferent, Candy will ride. I'm not saying that's always good, but Mariah is no candy. And Mariah did not really say much when Heavenly was going after her mom. So I'm wondering secretly, does Mariah think that her mom was in the wrong? Because there wasn't any clapback really about it. Put it in the comments and if you think I missed that. Okay. Let's go on. Okay. So, yeah, because I remember Miss Lucy saying about Dr. Heavenly that there's a bad spirit about her. And I don't think Heavenly took too kind about it, And so, it is what it is. All right. Quad and Lisa. Okay. There's a two-part in this. Okay. There was the interaction between Quad and Dr. Darren. I think we all forget a couple of seasons back. Lisa and Quad haven't been checking for each other since that whole background debacle. And, Quad was being very rude to Darren, calling him a doll. And, she was being nice, nasty. But people trying to wonder where it comes from because Quad does not have, she has a long memory about Lisa. I'll get into Lisa because Lisa's not innocent. And I think some people might have thought that I was taking Lisa's side. I'm not. I'm observing a lot of behavior, but I did not touch on some things about Lisa and I will get into it. Okay, so remember the season back where Lisa had the background check on Quad about all this stuff. And, this is where Lisa forgets. See, Quad has a long memory. Lisa has a short memory. She thinks that people are being mean to her, but she doesn't remember all the things she does to other people. So we know about the big old fallout between her and Quad. They had that lunch. Quad brought up about her husband and this baby that he may have not conceived and how the strippers know his first name. And then she got up and she had an epic meltdown, broke the glass, threw water in Quad's face. Meanwhile, prior to that, she asked her husband, Lisa asked Darren to go with her. Now, Quad didn't have her husband because she's like, I'm good. It's just me and Lisa. We're going to talk it out. But Lisa's like, I don't feel comfortable and I want you there by my side. So he was waiting in the wings. And as she was getting all gutter and trying to be about that life and threw the water in Quad's face, he did not at all come in. You didn't see him break it up or pull his wife away or anything like that. So I think Quad still feels some type of way about the way Darren acted and that, he wants to be treated like a man, but yet he let, his wife do this. And I think she still feels some kind of way about it. But see, Quad can hold her own. So Quad's like, okay, that's cool. And she made it very clear on that last season she wasn't her friend. And nothing's changed. She deals with her and she can sit in a room, but she just said, listen, there has to be a lot to go on in order for us to have anything other than what we have. And I understand that. Okay. Lisa. Don't forget also, Lisa has been nice, nasty to Quad a couple of times. They didn't talk about this again. Again, this is why I'm saying Andy didn't put her in the hot seat. Because remember when Quad was spilling all the tea, when Mariah was spilling all the tea about Quad, and then Lisa came in her confessional and said, yes, I have a brother-in-law that went to the same school as Quad, and that Quad was into ballers and drug dealers and all that. And that, let's just say she did what she had to do. Implying, well, we all know what she was implying, that Quad was busy laying on her back to survive and get through. Forget the fact that the girl's in college. Now, Quad is 35 years old. So we're going to be talking about things that happen when someone is between the ages of 18 and 21. This woman is now 35 and married. Really, Lisa? You had to go all the way back to almost 2 decades to come out and talk about Quad? What were you doing when you were in college? What were you doing when you were 18, 19, 20, 21? What kind of woman were you before you became as properly a proper lady? What were you doing? Because you came off like you're up here and Quad's down here, even though you're both doctors' wives, and you made an implied statement about Quad. Now, you don't think Quad knew that? You don't think Quad saw that? You don't think Quad had a feeling about that? So why should she have any feelings towards you? This is what I'm talking about. And I agree with Mariah. There are double standards. Because Lisa is crying and she doesn't understand why people are being so mean. But Andy, why didn't you check her on the stuff that she said all slick? Okay. Darren addressing Andy. That move was booty. You're pandering to Andy. Andy said, yeah, I know you're not gay. Whatever, Darren, you're suspect on all fronts. You're suspect. I don't know and I don't care that when you say I may not have been, I don't even remember the right word he said. I may not have been forthcoming, but I'm not a liar. We call that lying by omission. It's still a lie. I tell my kids that all the time. It's lying by omission. And you're not even good at that. You can't even lie well. So, you know what, Darren? It was just sad to see you. Again, Darren, I think you need to be wallpaper. You need to be like Ken from the first season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Vanderpump. You just need to be in the background. You need to be in your scrubs, passing through the night with Lisa, and that's it. That's really all you need to do. Dr. Jackie and Cecil. Dr. Jackie and Curtis. I wish them the best. I do think there's a fork in the road, and I do believe that if someone can't be happy, you can't be happy. And even people who deserve to be together or should be together, sometimes they just too stuck in their ways, and they're not going to see each other's side. I hate to see a marriage end, but it is a fork in the road, and so it's very clear that they're either going to have to do some counseling and compromise, or they're just going to say, you know what, we had a good marriage, and 14 years of a marriage, and you grow into a different direction, I don't think necessarily is a failure. It's cliche. Some people are there for a reason, a season, a time. Maybe they're not meant to be lifelong partners. Maybe the relationship has taken its course. I love the fact that the everyone on the panel rallied for them. I do like that, because obviously everybody values marriage, and they would, change the dynamics. So I do hope the best for them, but these are grown people and they have to do what they have to do. So yeah, I don't know. Mariah, you got to do better, girl. You got to do better. And I hate to see that Mariah was shown in a bad light, but you really brought it on yourself. So that's all I have. I will now watch everyone else's review. Let me know if I was on track. Did I miss something? I don't think I did, but yeah, I don't know. I feel the reunion sometimes is just as good as the season, and I just didn't feel satisfied with the reunion. But I don't know. I expect they all come back. I really don't want to see Lisa come back. And oh, I know one thing. So Lisa said, it's my marriage and I do what I want and I want you to respect that. And she chastised Darren, and that's all well and good. Let me tell you what I would do, Lisa. I don't even know. I would put her on notice. And anything that has to do with your husband, I would act like I didn't hear it. I would act like I didn't hear it. Now, I'm with Dr. Heavenly. She was like, that's the best thing you said, when she was busy going off. And she said, that's the best thing you said. She said, because we really don't care. And I do believe, I do believe everybody doesn't care. I think everyone is fed up and is nauseous of the fact that she's in this state. But I go by, if you like it, I love it. So, anytime Lisa would say anything, I wouldn't even pay any mind about this baby that she's trying to have. I'm like, I would be finding something else to do. And I will say this, I have done this before. I am guilty of this. I have been in situations where I'm tired of hearing about this couple and the ongoing situation. And I don't even know. I would put her on notice. And anything that has to do with your husband, I would act like I didn't hear it. I would act like I didn't hear it. Now, I don't even know. I would put her on notice. And anything that has to do with your husband, I would act like I didn't hear it. I would act like I didn't hear it. Now, I'm with Dr. Heavenly. She was like, that's the best thing you said, when she was busy going off. And she said, that's the best thing you said. She said, because we really don't care. And I do believe, I do believe everybody doesn't care. I think everyone is fed up and is nauseous of the fact that she's in this state. But I go by, if you like it, I love it. So, anytime Lisa would say anything, I wouldn't even pay any mind about this baby that she's trying to have. I'm like, I would be finding something else to do. And I will say this, I have done this before. I am guilty of this. I have been in situations where I'm tired of hearing about this couple and the ongoing situation. And I have excused myself every time my good person would say something. So I have done that. I have found something to do. I have found somewhere to be. I have checked out. Like even when I can't get up, I'm on my phone, I'm doodling, I'm making a phone call. A lot of time I'll walk away, and it's very clear that I don't want to have anything to do with it because I'm tired of hearing about it. The situation isn't changing, but you want to talk about it, and I don't bring it up. So if Lisa was to bring up anything about Dr. Darren, I say all the ladies need to, I don't want to say shun her, but I think everybody should just leave. Like, you don't want me to say anything, but you want to talk about your husband. And, she says, listen, babies are a blessing. If she ends up being pregnant, I'm like, that's nice. That's real nice. I'm happy. I'm real, babies are a blessing. And I just leave it like that. She started talking about Darren and all that stuff. Like, I'm going to go. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm going to go get something to drink. I would just ignore her. And she would have to find something else to talk about. So that's how I've dealt with stuff. And if I was on the show, I would deal with it that way. And I hope the ladies make it a point to let her know we don't care and we don't want to hear about it. And did you notice the guys weren't even checking for Dr. Darren? See, this is what I'm talking about. People don't care. Like, even the guys weren't really checking for Darren. That has something to say, because normally the guys that way. And I hope the ladies make it a point to let her know we don't care and we don't want to hear about it. And did you notice the guys weren't even checking for Dr. Darren? See, this is what I'm talking about. People don't care. Like, even the guys weren't really checking for Darren. That has something to say, because normally the guys don't deal with the mess, but even they have a threshold. So that's all I have. Too long a review for really not a lot, but I wanted to get all my thoughts in. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself and each other, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.